So this is day 1 of Live in Training. I'm here with Paula and Oliver. And Paula, can you tell me why you've come to Blue Dog Ranch today?
Okay, so basically I'm here because Oliver has fear aggression, and what happens is, although he's mostly like an absolute sweetheart of a dog, when he gets fearful, he will lounge out at someone, and inevitably he did end up biting someone, and I really don't want him to have to live like that, or us. So I have worked with David before, and I've been here before, and my hope is that we can rehabilitate him as best we can, both of them, right, Ollie, and that's predominantly why I'm here.
Okay, great. Let's get a little bit of video of Ollie here. No handsome boy.
We are going out to meet somebody, okay, and I'm actually going to start the greeting routine from at my front door. You know how we do the front door, you've seen that in the other clips. And so we come out here. In our case, we have this double gate. Whenever I want to have him sit straight at a gate or a curb or anything like that. So if he tries to get up, you might have to do that just to keep him there. But everything's really gentle, as you can see. If he gets up, see, if I wasn't talking to you, I would have said no. And I always, through every boundary, because I only had a little while to practice with him, I'm just doing this at every boundary. And if you did the same thing for a while, he would really change quicker for you. So, okay, don't let him run through any boundary. Sit, and I count curbs and stairways as boundaries as well. And this whole thing, the front door thing, which you already saw in the last clip, and then coming through the yard and doing the boundaries. No, see, that's really hard because he sees things on the street. All I had to do was just do that and say no, and he went back, making sure he waits. All this stuff leading up to seeing the person gets him in the zone and keeps him calm for when he actually meets the person out on the street. Okay, so now we're going out here. Camera's gonna follow me. We see the person at a distance. And if he's pulling you or anything like that, I'm just thinking about anything that might happen to you that's not happening to me. You can approach that person, stand back a little bit farther, all right? Approach that person like this, doing left circles, left turns, because when you do that, and see how with my left hand, it's like tapping the brakes. They're just little prompts like that. Sit, and I did that. I did 3 of them. You're doing the most dominant move that you can do with a dog, which is to step into them and them like allow you to herd them the way that you want them to go. And it's something that you can do easily. Anybody can do it. And I'm keeping the leash loose, and you can always watch this clip to see how I'm doing it. I'm doing this lightly as I do the left turns, and you probably noticed by the 3rd one, he was really next to me and he wasn't pulling as much and not excited. So you can do that as you approach the person. And then I'm going to give her a piece of chicken. Come back next to Oliver, and Pat, you should probably be here so you can see what I'm doing, so you're not looking at my back. Maybe right there. Go say hi. He goes over there, takes a reward. Come. Only good. Sit. You tell the person not to pet him at first. In Oliver's case, at your house, he's done it so much here that anybody can do this, and he actually has met her before too. But with a new person at your house, no petting. Just allow him to take the reward and then call him back to come. No. See how he got up? You do your little left circle. Just pull up a little bit and put him back. You don't say sit again, because we always said sit once. So I step away, give her a little reward there. So don't pet him now, okay? And then with my right hand, go say hi. He goes over there. Come. See, by the time he goes over there, I've already reached into my pouch, loaded up, and when I say come, he turns around and he sees this already. Sit one more time. And then what I started doing once he got comfortable with this, and I've done this with a bunch of different people, is I started adding a sit stay because that just keeps him focused. Later on you can do this, but I'm just showing you what he can do. Just doing a sit stay like that keeps him focused for a longer period of time, and then you go over. Nope, and he might try to jump the gun. So see, I said no. Put him back. All I did was just gently pull up. His butt hit the ground and I released. It's all gentle but firm. Not a bunch of jerking, inconsistent pulling and like that. It's just, and then release. His whole issue is this, not being able to focus, and you saw it just happen where he's super anticipatory and he just couldn't stay in that sit stay and just had to break out of it. And that's the ongoing project, is to make that less and less of a problem. That's what the mat exercise is for. That's what all this is for, the waiting at boundaries, so that he has a longer period of focus so that he's not doing that all the time. And of course, you know how that's all he ever did. He had no stay at all when he first came here. So we keep doing this. I've been talking a lot. So he's doing really well for us for the video. He's really waiting. Make sure that he really waits until you send him over. So see how he's really waiting? Go. Come. Good. So that's the way you want to do it. And then one last time, sit. Gonna give her, this should be at your house something super special, chicken or cheese or something super special. We're just using the Natural Balance sausage right now, but you'll be using something very special. I'm stepping over to the visitor. No. Putting him back because I didn't release him yet. So I stepped over to the visitor, gave her a big handful of reward. She's gonna go this way and go inside. Okay, we're gonna follow her. Just like we've already practiced at your house. We're following the new person in. You don't want the new person behind him because he might be insecure with some stranger behind, right? So sit. You're still doing the boundaries here. Okay. Sit. We're going back in. Okay, he's looking behind us because we have people right behind us getting out of cars. That's okay. And then one last, let's do it in the shade. That's right, go up here. We're not gonna go inside, but this could be on your porch. Sit, and then go, and he gets a big old handful of stuff. Come, good, and by then, one more handful. She goes in the house, and then let's just go ahead and do it. Sit. And just stand right there so the camera can see us. We have other dogs in here, so we're not going to go all the way in. And Kayla, if you want to move closer, if you have to. Okay, last sit, the last routine inside. Go say hi. He gets the treats. Come, and then you hang out. You hang out for a while, and go. Come. It's like that. Our area is way smaller than yours, so you have a bigger area. You can also practice, come, just calling him away. If he looks at your visitor, come, just keep calling him away. Rewards. That'll make him start to become very desensitized to the person in your space. And then after this, you take him upstairs and put him away. You end on this. He's all happy, he's relaxed, he's thinking this is pretty cool. Whenever we have visitors, I always get this special stuff and we do these games and everything. And then you take him upstairs and get him away out of the situation while he's doing really well. And every time that you do this, you let him stay out just a little bit longer. It's building him up just a little bit longer each time. And that's how you're going to get to him never doing that again, never trying to bite somebody again. You do it gradually, just give him a little bit more time every time. For a long time, you need to keep him on the leash. Even when you're up to like 10 minutes, keep him on the leash with you. Good. And don't let him just wander around and be without you when somebody stands up to go to the bathroom or reach for something. So for a while, you're going to have to make sure that he never goes back to that behavior. You're going to have to monitor him, even though he's staying out longer and longer. Keep the leash on him and be ready, because now, like, he knows Denise, so why don't you pet him? So from across the room, come. Good boy. He's going to come running when you see, oh no, something's going on over there, let him have the leash. You're still going to have that recall in the end when he's staying out longer and longer that'll call him out of this bad situation. So you're always going to call him to you. You're not going to go say his name. You're not going to go over there and try to grab him because that will trigger it to be worse, right? We've talked all about this and practiced this already, but I'm just reminding you on this video. Call him out of that situation. He's got a solid recall. I've been practicing his come command in all different situations. You see at your house, it's real solid. You have to remember, call him to you in the way that we practiced and the way you've seen me doing it here. Even off leash, 9 times out of 10, he's going to come to you. That's how you get him out of a situation. Come! See if you have the leash. Good, even if he really loves Denise. And she has treats in that bag. But that's how you get him away from anything. If you have a leash, then you can handle him in any situation at your house. So for a while now, you're going to have to keep a leash on him, even though you think that things are better now, and they will be. But and you can talk to me later on, and maybe I can come out and visit you and tell you when it's time to not have him have the leash on anymore with visitors. We'll see how he does over time. Sit. So I'm doing this front door exercise. We didn't expect him to turn this on at that moment, but we have a workman here. Makes it extra hard for him to focus, for Oliver to focus, doing the front door, sit and wait. Okay. See how I stopped him? He wanted to rush through because he's really nervous because of all this stuff going on here. But still, I stopped him by a little prompt. I slowed down. He walks through slowly and carefully. And the camera person follows me in and goes past me. See if you can keep shooting the whole way. And then you're standing back there. And so I would have done a left circle. Come on, buddy. He, of course, wants to pull over and jump on the mat. That's his favorite thing to do. Okay. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to do our little left circle to have Oliver sit, and then, of course, with your right hand, you're going to pat his chest and say, go to your mat, and walk over with him and say, down. And this doesn't close all the way because we have the extension cord going outside. I'm doing it purposely with all this commotion going on because I know Oliver, has a problem with strangers in his space, at his home, in his house, and he's used to only certain people here now, and so he's used to all of us. Good, but doing the training video for you when we have a workman here, and which we've never had before since he's been with us, and he's been here about a month, it definitely adds, excuse me, a new dimension to this, and it shows you how he can be elsewhere. I mean, obviously, in your house, it's the ultimate test because this is in your house where he's practiced being aggressive with people, but good. At least you can see that he's able to be this way, and if you just do the stuff we've done here, then that'll go a long way for him being the same way at your house as you see him on the videos. And you saw out there that worker guy was there, and he just paid attention to me only. So he's a lot more stable and calm, and a lot less insecure with strangers around here. And of course, with a workman, it's even extra tough for a dog because they make all the funny noises and they have the tools, and everything out there is all torn apart. So he's doing pretty good considering. So, first I walk around, I do that easy stuff, then we do the front door stuff, which is go outside, knock on the door, ring the doorbell. Good. All the things that we do at your house as well, and we've already been doing at your house. Good. And we're getting we're getting the same result now at your house, but at first it wasn't like this, right? We had to practice and then it got like this, but here, he's done it so many times, and we got over his problem with this a couple weeks ago, and now he's just really good here. Go to the window and bang on the windows. We also have a mail flap here. We do that. Good. All these things that commonly trigger a dog to lose their focus and pop up and bark, and good, all those things. See the way I'm rewarding him every time? You can watch the way I reward him every time. I pause a little bit down there. Nope, if he goes near my hand, I'm going to pull back. Good. Nope, if he gets up, so I don't know why he thought he'd get up then. But no matter when he gets up, You do your little circle, you say no, do your circle. Put him back. All I said was one word, no, put him back. Now we're going to practice just trying a couple of other things before we end the exercise. One of them is going over and sitting down, because very often a dog is triggered to get up when you sit down on furniture because they think it's an invitation for him to come over. Good. Got a reward. What's triggering him today is we have work going on outside. There's all kinds of noises and things, and that's unusual for him. So it's a good time to do the video for you, so you can see him at his most nervous and still doing these things successfully. I'm going to go back here in the back of the house, close the door behind me. It's okay to remind him down if you're going to do something that's difficult. Closing the door behind me, knocking on the door. Good. I'm just trying all types of little things to see, see that he's not good, triggered to pop up. He's really keeping his focus. It's not easy for him, but he's doing it. He knows that the only way he leaves that mat is when I stand next to him and release him. So this is the only way he would ever leave from the downstay. It's when you come back to get him, just like on the mat. So I'm holding the leash, picked up the leash, go back next to him, pat my leg and say, okay. And then he gets up, sit. We're gonna take him outside and let him go for a little walk now, past the workmen out here. So he's very calm, they're right here. He waits, we step back. Okay, he walks out with me. And of course, it's just me here, so I'm doing another little left turn to close the door. Him sit before we put him in his crate, and I lean over when he's in a calm sit stay. See, I'm not restraining him. I'm never restraining him. He loves his crate. He wants to go in there, right? So this is a tool for training, actually. If he wants to go into his favorite place in the world, he needs to do it the right way and wait for me to open the door and go. Allow him to go in. He's actually never gone in a crate here before. And dogs are kind of funny, like if your crate is in one place and you try to put them in a crate in another room or something, at first they're hesitant because they think, oh, this isn't where I usually do it. But he still went in because he loves his crate. And so when he goes in his crate, he goes in, turns around, and give him a treat. You take off his equipment, his little prong collar, and his choke chain, which, excuse me, we only use for safety purposes. And then of course, one last reward, good, and whether he wants it or not, he doesn't want it now, but I put it on the floor so he can have it later. Just so it's always very positive. Every interaction with him is very positive. And I was telling you that this is only for safety. It hangs loose around his neck. It's attached to the prong collar. It's attached to the leash, which is attached to the prong collar like this, and the choke chain. If the prong collar ever comes off, it comes into play, and it's just so that you don't lose him on the street. This would be very dangerous to use for training. There's no safety on it, even though it doesn't look scary. It's way more dangerous to his throat and his neck than a prong collar. These little prong collars we use because these they are fitted to the size of the dog's neck. They can only close so far. Choke chain closes all the way and can choke and mess up his windpipe or whatever, trachea there. And these can't, if you're using it the way that you see me using it throughout the video and the way I taught you to, which is there's never a tight leash, there's never pulling, because it is metal, but you don't use it in that way. It's not used for pain, to cause pain. It's just used so that you can handle him easily, so that he learns to stop pulling quicker. But the prong collar doesn't do it by itself. It's how you use the prong collar and how you handle the leash that does the work. It just makes it a little bit easier than another collar, and it's always used gently, and obviously it's demonstrated throughout this video. You can see whenever I have him on the leash how I use it, and then also we've already done multiple lessons to show you in person too. So it'll never cause pain, it never causes marks or anything. That's why we use this prong collar. So these are all just this one hung on the door like that so it doesn't get all tangled up in itself, and you can put the leash and the choke chain up there. He eats his meals in the crates here. He's been here for about a month or so. Sleeps every night in his crate. He's in and out constantly through this front door. That's his main yard, but we have different yards he goes into, so there's lots of free time out. Every time he comes in, he does the front door exercise. He walks through on a loose leash, sits in front of his crate. He's allowed to go in, and just like I'm about to take him out, he waits to be allowed to come out. Treats every time he goes in. Every time hands come in, it always comes with a gift. The hand always comes with a gift, so that he has a great association with hands coming at him and having these put on. Before all this, if he saw the collar and the leash, he'd get all excited and jump around and collapse and squirm around. And so we are not going to do it that way. We're going to put this on inside the crate where he's calm, and he'll allow you to do anything and just stand there calmly. And then later on, after a few months of doing this at your house in the crate, you won't need to do it in the crate because you started a new association with how he is when you put on his equipment. And first I'm putting on the choke chain. That's the first thing to go on. I just slip it over his head. And then I'm attaching the leash to the funny looking buckle on the prong collar. This perfectly round one is just a spacer, and it should be just like this. You can take it off or put it on at any one of these links, and it should be like this. You can hang it like that so it's not twisted. You can't have it twisted. If it's twisted, it doesn't work. So make sure it's not twisted. And you see, even if you're not trying to, it can get stuck or caught on something. So just make sure that none of that happens. It's all loose, ready to go. It's already attached to the leash. You reach in. I grabbed his collar, his cloth collar, to just pull him forward because he loves his crate, and very often he doesn't want to come out. So he likes to isolate in his crate. But I reached in there, I hooked him up to this prong collar, and then I'm taking the choke chain and attaching that to the leash as well. You see how easy that is? Just doing this a few times and you'll be able to do it just with feel. You don't have to look at it. And see how he's waiting. If he tries to come out, you say no and give this a little, what I call a little token slam. You give it a little bounce and say no. But he knows to wait. So you control this, excuse me, you control this boundary. And so it makes you more serious in his eyes. If you control the boundary to his den, and of course dogs are naturally den animals, and this crate is his den. It's where he gets treats, he gets fed in there, he gets bones and chewies. This door's always closed when he's in, and it's always closed when he's out, so he can't go in without your permission. It's actually a tool for training. It's way more than just a box with a door. If he tries to come out, no. And of course, I've never stood here talking this long before, so he wonders what's taken me so long. So he's waiting for me to say, okay. He comes out, and you get to do another little left circle like that, come back, close this door. And also you have another dog, so it's also so the other dog can't go in there and take his favorite bone or whatever that you give him in there. And then of course, we're gonna take him out for a walk, sit, always the same way, sitting at the doorway, using this boundary. Oh, workman, perfect. Using this boundary as another way to show him that we control every boundary, which makes him think that we're in charge. It's one of the major things that has helped change his perception of being handled by a person. Okay, and then he comes out. I'm gonna do a little circle here to close the door. Because we handle him in this environment from day one, he feels safe here, so there's no reason for him to guard against somebody else like that. So that's why he's not insecure and guarding us, is because the way we handle him makes him feel like we're taking care of him and he's safe. Here we are taking a little walk with Oliver. Oh, there's a dog barking at a fence line. That could be a problem. So Oliver, do you see that dog? Hasn't even looked at him yet. But when he does look at the distraction, come. I'm gonna call him away from it. Good, and give him a reward. He has no interest in food right now. But even if he's not interested in food, you still pretend like you have it and you still use it the same way. If he doesn't want to take it, that's okay. But still do the moves. Come, see, back away. See how he's coming to me? I got my target there. Good, if he doesn't take it, that's all right. In this kind of case, you're gonna step into him and get out of there, right? That's what you always do. Always use your body. Never go this way, because if you go this way, you're gonna be pulling him around, and you got the tight leash. Tension on the leash creates tension in the dog, right? So you do, hold on there, buddy. You want to come this way? So let's just keep going. So you do left circles, left turns. Oh, I think you can come. Come on. So because we had a big truck come behind us, we're really close to this barking dog. As you can see, come, I'm calling him away again. You know, because we practice this way every day and he's come into so much contact with distractions like this and dogs on leashes and in yards and things. And the leash is always loose. I've never done this, ever. I've never let him pull. I always call him back to me, or we walk around like this. Just with my left hand through the leash, keeping it loose. It doesn't matter if it drags on the ground a little bit, or maybe you lift it up like that. You just get used to doing it. It's so much easier than having a dog pull you around. So just learn how to kind of manage the leash when it's loose. You got your right hand free, so you can just say, come, call him back to you. Good. I'm just demonstrating, even though he's busy sniffing. We do that dozens of times a day, and you see the results is now he's different around distractions and around stress. There's a lot of barking, a lot of stress around here, but he's become desensitized to it because every time we put him in contact with this kind of stuff, we're working and we're doing things that he never did before. We're practicing appropriate responses to these situations. And so now he's built up a tolerance to it. So we got this dog barking behind him and he doesn't care anymore. Okay, let's go, bud. Oh, we have a dog on a leash. Come. So Oliver's staring at that dog. I'm calling him back to come. He's very nonchalant. He's not even hungry now. And I think come. You should always take him out hungry because he's going to be motivated to do the right thing with you. Much more motivated because he's practiced the aggression with you, much more motivated with you if he's hungry. And with me, I don't even need food anymore, and so I can take him out and I can do this stuff when he's not even hungry. Come! Sees a dog on a leash, I can back away, he comes to me. Good. Wait for this car to pass by. Yeah, and just let him be loose. There you go. Good. Come. Good. Very good. So that's how he is with dogs on the street that we meet now. We've been practicing a lot with a bunch of different dogs. And I think the secret is that he comes out here and he's not stressed out because there's no popping, snapping, there's no jerking, there's no tight leashes, there's none of that. I just use my body in the command. If he sees a dog, of course I'm always watching out for a dog because that's one of his issues, and he's so nonchalant he doesn't even care now. He might look and then look away. So that's what we have now with him and other dogs on the street. And so you just have to make sure that you keep doing what I've been doing. Keep the leash loose, use your recall. Only take him out when he's hungry though, for you, because he'll be much more motivated once I'm not there to come back to you when you have a reward. And then later on, probably in just a couple weeks, you'll have what I have, and even if he's not hungry or if you don't have a reward, he'll still just be this way with you. Oliver in training mode, his head is at my leg. I'm holding the leash coming out the back of my hand because it's so natural. Okay, just to do it like that and see if I'm going to walk, I'll just pat my leg. Okay, and I can do this if he's pulling, which he's not. Or if I say, sit, he doesn't sit, I can just pull straight up like that. It's all about being gentle but firm and just staying calm. So you're not going to do a lot of pulling up and this kind of stuff. It's about doing less. It's just about ease of motion, simplicity, and he starts to just be that way anyway because that's the way you handle him every day. And of course, if I'm walking him and I need to turn, okay, I'm going to always turn left. If I need to go right, I'll just go left to go right. If I have to go that way, okay, left to go right. Every time you do that little turn into him when he's on the leash and you're walking him, it's a little dose, a little message that you're dominant. It's subtle, but it's dominant, and it makes the dog feel like you've taken charge. Turning right and pulling him around is everything that will make him go back to the way he was doing it before. This way makes him feel like you're calling the shots, You do it, of course I do it dozens of times a day, other people do it as well, so it's done to him dozens of times a day. So if you do our moves, you're gonna get this result. If you, at first, because you've never done this with him, he might try to be the way he was with you before, and we're already practicing with you and we're getting past a lot of that, but when I'm not on the scene, he may kind of revert back a day or 2 or 3 or whatever. It's always different. You just keep doing the moves and that'll go away, and he'll start doing with you as you see him doing with us, as long as you do these moves and stick with it. So just to leave you with just basic leash walking etiquette, if he's next to you, you keep it loose. You have to hold it down here close to him, but it's still loose, so you can get that little, kind of like a little snap when you do the prompts, and you're never even doing it much harder than that. It's never rough, it's never hard, it's not to cause pain, it's just a signal. It's like tapping the brakes. If he walks too fast, okay, let's see, we'll start over here. If he walks too fast, you're just gonna be doing this, like this. If you have him on a loose leash, I just switch hands, so I have this in my left hand, and then, hey look, over here. I reward my right, and I can say, come, and he comes to me, good, and then you have your left hand free to take the leash, because the leash is gonna be on your left side. And then you can step into him, and you can say, sit. Or you can continue on, do whatever you want. But that's why when you're walking him on free time on a loose leash and he's allowed to go in front of you and pee and sniff and whatever he wants to do, you do left hand leash, right hand reward. So those are just the basics of the leash walking etiquette. Okay.